So this week is Deaf Awareness Week, which is kind of ironic because I only found out 2 days ago. Oops. I wanted to take this opportunity of Deaf Awareness Week to talk about how I became aware of my deafness. I put a thing on Instagram, one of the little question card things, and the most common question was, how did you find out that you're losing your hearing? Well, technically, I haven't, because I've only had one hearing test, outside of what went on in my hearing aid appointments. You can find more about that up there. I've only had one assessment of what is your hearing like without hearing aids in. So I found out that I've lost some hearing, but because I've only had one test, I cannot say for certain that it's getting better or getting worse. I do, however, suspect that it is getting worse. I was on the phone to my dad the other day and just chatting this ear, hello, hi, how are you? And then I swapped ears and it was so much quieter that I was like, did I miss? But I didn't miss, so there is now a volume difference between my ears. So I guess the question then becomes, what made you suspect that you had lost some hearing? And the answer to that question is, I was told by friends that my hearing was not as good as I think it is. I'm going to talk about some symptoms of hearing loss and then some symptoms of my hearing loss. Hearing loss and deafness differs with everybody, so my experience will not be the same as everybody else's experience, and everybody else's experience will not be the same as each other's. It is completely unique to everybody. Some symptoms of hearing loss in general, and these might vary depending on your degree of hearing loss. So by far the number one symptom or sign of a hearing loss is struggling to understand speech. And this can vary from person to person, as I've already said. So it can be like speech is muffled, or you notice that you struggle to hear consonants, or just that you're asking people to repeat what they've said multiple times. And not just maybe one sentence that you just don't quite understand, but lots of different sentences. Something else that you might find is that you have your TV or radio or music or videos, whatever you're listening to, if it's on a digital platform, you might have the volume up higher than other people might, or you might constantly be told by housemates or neighbours that I can hear your TV through the wall, can you turn it down a little bit? You might find that headphones are never loud enough. You might find that you think you're hearing the TV show but you need to put the captions on to fully understand what's being said. So you miss all the jokes, you miss key plot points, you miss why is that person crying, and you always have the captions on, and then it helps you understand better, even if it's not a conscious thought. You might find yourself withdrawing from conversations or just listening, not really having much to say, just sort of nodding along and going with it. You might avoid social situations, which could be just a quiet hangout amongst friends, or it could be going out to a bar for drinks. You might notice that you can't understand people when they cover their mouths. And you might find that you just have anxiety about social situations. So if you're not purposefully or passively avoiding them, you might find that they're just giving you lots and lots of anxiety. And you might also have some tinnitus. Those are just a list of symptoms compiled from various places on the internet, because I wanted to give a full range of symptoms, not just the ones that I experienced. How did I personally know that I had lost some hearing, or suspected that I was losing some hearing, or suspected that I needed hearing aids, etc, etc? What made me go to the doctor? I was told by housemates that I should probably go and get a hearing test, because I was asking people to repeat themselves over and over again. I cannot hear people talking over other noise. If it's quiet like this, I can hear myself talk to you guys, I want to say perfectly, but maybe not. To me, it's perfect. Like, I can understand, if I was listening to me, which I kind of am, but I'm also talking, I would be able to understand at least most of what is being said and put it together. When I was boiling the kettle, for example, I would not be able to have a conversation with anybody over the top of that. If there was a TV on in the background, nope. If I was in a bar, no matter how quiet it was, nope. No, I don't understand it, I don't hear it. It just doesn't... I can't hear people talking over other noise. People that are softly spoken as well, struggle to hear them just normally. And for me, speech doesn't necessarily sound muffled, but it does sound like people are mumbling everything they say. And I know, like, in my brain, after like processing it, like, not everybody is mumbling, so it probably is a me issue. My TV is always on super loud, so I live in a house share. People that, you know, have jobs, need to be asleep at reasonable time, don't want to be kept awake all night, message me saying, hello, your TV is really loud, and I'm sat over there in bed, my TV is about where you guys are, but over there, and I'm struggling to hear it. But housemates are hearing it through the floor and through the ceiling. And it's less likely that everybody I live with has superhuman hearing. So there was films that I'd watched over and over again and enjoyed perfectly fine, but it wasn't until I put the captions on I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense now. Withdrawal from conversation and social situations, absolutely yes. So I was less of an active participant in the conversation and just a person that was looking, yeah, yeah, well, you get the picture. And if they covered their mouths, that made it worse. So I didn't realise that I was lip reading as much as I was, and then people started making the joke of, can you hear me now? And then it turns out that no, I actually couldn't. I've talked about the fact that I have anxiety, just in general. If you want to know more about my anxiety, I'll put a card up there as well. But my anxiety was so much worse when I knew I would have to be talking and listening to people. And it's really common in people with hearing loss to also have tinnitus. They're not mutually exclusive. You can have tinnitus without hearing loss and you can have hearing loss without tinnitus, but it is also not surprising that I have tinnitus and hearing loss. And sometimes my tinnitus is so loud that I cannot hear people talk over the top of it. So, another point, I was like, maybe the two are connected. Other symptoms that I don't really recommend doing is I used to go out socially for drinks and drag events with friends, and sometimes when they've got the music on, they've got big speakers, like, you know, the big speakers at rock concerts or like school discos. They have massive speakers and they're so loud. I was finding that I could stand in front of those, no problem, but other people would be like, it's loud, stop it, and want to move away, but I would stand there and be completely fine. And I now know that that is not a good thing to do, and I absolutely don't recommend, but if you find that this is something that you are doing or you are able to do and it's your little party trick, maybe go for a hearing test and also maybe stop doing that, because while you may have some hearing loss, you don't want to be making it worse. You still need to protect your ears from loud noise, even if it doesn't feel loud to you. That leads on nicely to my headphones will never ever ever be loud enough, and that's probably a good thing. If I had earphones or headphones that went as loud as I wanted to hear it, I would have no hearing left. It would definitely damage my hearing. I don't want to guess how long my hearing would last, but it would be bad. There's so many recommendations online from various organisations for people that work around noise, what level of noise they can safely be around for what duration of time. Basically, the louder the noise is, the less you should be exposed to it. And I listen to music a lot, and apparently I have no way to verify this really apart from reading on the internet, but apparently the earphones that come with the iPhone now, so I have the iPhone 8 just for reference, apparently those go up to about 100 to 105 decibels and it's not loud enough. I cannot think of any more symptoms of my hearing loss because it was quite a while ago. It was not that far off of a year ago that I had my audiology test, so I've mentioned before brain fog and memory issues, so I can't really remember that far past. But those are the things that I still struggle with now, and that were the things that got me to go to a doctor and say, hello, I think I might need to go to audiology. So I hope this has been helpful for you. Happy Deaf Awareness Week. Be nice to your deaf and hard of hearing friends. Don't forget to like this video, drop a comment down below if you have any more questions about hearing loss that you would like me to answer. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and ring that notification bell so you get notified every single time I post a new video. Videos go up every Saturday at 6 PM UK time with at least one bonus video every single month. This month's bonus video was last week because it was the tail end of Allergy Awareness Week and I am tired. So I will see you next week. Bye. No, that doesn't feel right. See ya.